Hello, welcome to Maltbox. I'm Andy and this is Whisky review number 20. What I have for you today is something very special, and that is an Islay single malt. Not only a single malt but a single cask, and that is the Scotch Malt Whisky Society's Feis Isle bottling. Okay, you might not be able to see that. I really hope you can. In fact, I'm better off with that. That's what it looks like in real life. Alright, now Feis Isle is a festival of whisky and music over on Islay, and it's going on as we speak right now. It lasts for a few days, quite a few days actually, and all the distilleries put on various events, and you know, they have special bottlings, and basically the Scotch Malt Whisky Society bottled this, and what it actually is, it's got a name. Now, if you're familiar with the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, then you'll probably already know that they name their bottlings in quite a unique fashion. They try and describe what it smells like or what it tastes like in a really quite vivid way. This bottling is called Cantina Mexicana, and this is, the actual code is 127.44. Now, the coding for the Scotch Malt Whisky Society works out that the first number, so in this case 127, is the distillery number. So each distillery will have its own number, generally in the order of which they receive the casks from it. So, for example, if you get an SMWS bottling and it has the code 1 dot and then another number, 1 is a Glenfarclas, because Glenfarclas is the first distillery that provided the society with the cask. The second number, in this case 44, is the number, not the number of casks per se, it's not the actual cask number, but it is how many casks they have received. So this is the 44th cask that they have received from distillery 127. Now, and ahhing as to whether to reveal what it is, because there's this whole thing like, you know, they actually put the numbers on there to keep it not secret, because you can access it quite easily on the internet, so sack it. It's a Port Charlotte, which is distilled at Bruichladdich. Without further ado, I will open it. I know that the seal was broken, but that's only because my father-in-law wanted to smell it, and I've been away in Cornwall for a week, so he brought it down with him when they came to meet us, which was also a surprise. There we go, put that in there, half of that. 12 years old, 12-year-old Port Charlotte, gets in. Bottled at 65.9%, 65.9%, that is a strong one, isn't it? Okay, it's really good, this little info sheet that I've been given there. Second fill ex Oloroso, so finish it, nice copperish colour there. One of 588 bottles, to release of 588 bottles. Right, okay. On the label here it says 65.9%, but on the info sheet it says 56.9%, so someone's got the 6 and the 5 the wrong way around somewhere along the line, so we'll take it as 56.9, shall we? I think that's the more realistic strength, given the fact that it's 12 years old. It's been sat around for a while. Distilled on the 20th of August 2003. Not wicked, isn't it? So it retails at 120 quid. Okay, 120 quid. Quite expensive, but think it's a limited edition bottling for the festival. It's one of 588 bottles. It's a Port Charlotte. It's 12-year-old Port Charlotte, which, as Port Charlotte goes, is quite old. The majority of official bottlings are a hell of a lot younger than that. So let's give it a nose, see what we do. This without any water. Now straight away I can tell why they've called it Cantina Mexicana. Whilst there's chocolate there, there's lime zest, there's paprika, It's salty, it's almost tequila-y. Think of like a tequila shot with the lime and the salt, I suppose. You've got smoke in the background there, but again, that paprika's sort of, you know, that's what's providing it for me. Maybe a bit of cassia bark. Bitter chocolate. Really dark chocolate. And let's see what they put. Snout grabbing, woody, like old sea chests or a dusty Mexican cantina floor. I've never been to Mexico, but I'll take your word for it. Leather boots and fag ends and cigarettes, lots of licorice, figs and oriental spices. Oriental spices, that's my cassia bark, I suppose. Beef stew with sherry and smoked paprika. 2 out of 2. Well, 2 out of about 10, I suppose. Thinking about it. So let's see what it's like on the, really getting that paprika, definitely. See what it's like on the palate now. Wow. Wow. It's big. Alright, it's very big. Mouth coating to the point where it actually becomes chalky. My eyes are nearly watering. Again, lime zest. Sort of like, think of a breakfast burrito with smoked bacon. So you've got smoky bacon, you've got scrambled egg, you've got avocado, you've got a tangy note in there as well. So think of like a tart tomato. Tabasco sauce. It's quite hot. And now, I can't believe because I feel like I'm really leaning towards this Mexican ideology thing that I've got going on. But thinking like an overdone taco shell as well now. And there is like a beefy element in there. Yeah, well, I see what I mean about beef stew. Well, I probably, now it's sort of leaning into the finish, I would say it's more of like an English steak and ale pie. That's one of the most, I mean, Port Charlotte is gorgeous anyway, generally. I mean, I love Port Charlotte. But that is certainly one of the more interesting ones that I've had. I'm going to try it with a bit of water. The chalky mouthfeel was really interesting. It really was. It was like it completely enveloped my entire mouth at once. Go on, I'll put another one in. That's 2.5 really. That I'll put in there. Sit there for a minute. Unfortunately, I mean, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm still in the whisky dungeon, and I have this bottling, I'm not there, sadly. Maybe next year, but not this year, unfortunately, due to saving up for a wedding and various other things. Such is life, I suppose. It's one of those. And that's, you know, while I've got the time, thank you very much to the Whisky Society for sending this sample through. Much appreciate it. Lovely label. I mean, I hope you can make this out. It doesn't really do it justice on there. Hopefully, the autofocus will ping in on that. It's like this. I don't know the actual name for them, but you know, like they're very decorative skull images. Really, really nice label. Yeah, so it's been sat there for a little while. I mean, to all those of you that are watching this and that are either at the festival, what are you doing watching a whisky video? Get drinking whisky. Or if you've got back, hope you enjoyed it. I'm extremely jealous. I'm looking at you, Joseph Ellis. Right, with water already, it's calmed down a hell of a lot. You've still got a lime in there, okay? You've still got a smoky element in there as well. Think of walking through like a food market, you know, where everyone's got different things going on. You've got like a paella stand, you've got a wild meat stand, someone doing like venison burgers or something like that. There's also a note in there of not burnt toast, but just on the point of turning toast. I mean, I like mine quite well done, which is probably why I don't know what it smells like. Bit of sweetness as well, so I think maybe not toast, leaning towards a toasted tea cake now with that orange zest and lemon rind in there, as well as the raisins and lots of butter. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm loving picking these little food tastes apart. Normally you find sort of quite, I'm not going to say generic, but you know, you get a lot of whiskies that have vanilla, coffee, chocolate, nuts of some description, grassy sort of things, and they've got it bang on. It is cuisine, it is Mexican cuisine, amongst others. Okay, I mean, coffee, yes, there is coffee in there. I'm not quite getting the oaky elements that they're referring to, but yeah, I mean, I kind of get the leathery, dusty notes. I am getting those now, to be fair, with the water. It is opening up over time. I'm going to move on to the palate again. Chinese 5 spice. Softer note in between, like sort of a poached pear, but then all of a sudden you're back in the spicy territory, and I'm talking like not a jalapeno, more like a chipotle, kind of smoky, lesser heat, but really nice satisfying heat. I mean, if you put a chipotle in a bit of chilli, lovely. Smoked brisket joint. Quite like that one actually, I might make one of those. Maybe a bit of ginger as well actually. Just towards the finish. I mean, the finish itself, I'm not going to say it is long, but it doesn't really change, you know, for me. I mean, it's still retaining those core smoky, salty-ish flavours that we've had on the palate. I mean, see what the society have said about it, shall we? Now, see, they've got toffee. Personally, I didn't. Maybe I'm just not eating enough toffees. With water, leather boots. Leather boots become moccasins. I don't own any, I'm afraid. Right, take your word for it. Toffee apples, honeycomb, marmalade. Well, there's your orangey sort of flavour in there. Smoky bacon. Did say smoky bacon. Scented carbolic soap. Fair enough. I mean, the palate, admittedly, is a bit sweeter. I mean, while I've been talking, it's been opening up even more, so. Rhubarb and custard sweets on the nose now. Oh wow, yeah, bloody hell, that's changed in another 30 seconds. Right, okay, I see exactly what I mean now. Very, very, very sweet. I'm not going to say toffee. I'm going to say text. It'll only be Vodafone or my mother. I'm going to say sort of like a berry compote rather than. That sounds really snobby. It's a very Waitrose thing to say, isn't it? Compote. But for me, it's not really a toffee or a caramelly sweetness. It is more of a fruity, acidic-y sweetness, if you know what I mean. It's hard to describe. But now they mention it, marmalade, yeah, completely marmalade. Which I suppose is going back to what I was saying earlier about the toasted tea cake, which has your orange rind and your lemon rind in there. and you know, you can't have with jam. So I'm just going to finish this off, see what we get on the finish. I've not really spoken much about the finish, I suppose. Let's see if that's changed. Not particularly. Still going saying that. It's a belting dram. It's incredibly engaging. You know, I mean, I suppose the thing with single casks, it's quite hard to gauge. You know, you can have a fantastic cask, you can have a so-so cask, and I think they've got a very good one here. 120 quid. Make of that what you will. I mean, I suppose, you know, if I was there, then, you know, I would probably purchase one. For, you know, not only for the memories, but the fact that it's a limited edition bottle. Port Charlotte, again, reinforcing the fact that it's not incredibly easy to get hold of, especially at 12 years old. But I think in terms of score, for me it's an 87 out of 100. Incredibly engaging, really very well put together. A very savoury whisky if ever there was, particularly without water. With water you do get the sweeter notes coming through, so I think it does, depending on which flip of the coin, which side of the coin, sorry, you stand, it's kind of whether you prefer your sweeter whiskies or if you prefer your sort of like meatier, more savoury drams, then it is very much a dram of two halves. So, belting, cracking effort. Thanks very much, see you soon.